This episode is sponsored by BetterHelp.
It's the facial hair.
Nah, it's definitely not the facial hair. It's nothing. It's nothing.
I don't see it, man. I don't see it at all.
But... Welcome. This is That One Piece Talk.
Hey.
Episode 48, chapter 1049 is what we'll be discussing in today's episode for That One Piece Talk. And I started off the show very awkward. My name is Larry.
Lawrence.
Lionel. Seb.
And this is That One Piece Talk, where we talk One Piece.
Woo! Let's go.
Let's go. Ric Flair slap. Imagine I just slapped his chest. Woo! Woo! Jewelry wearing. Yo.
Rolex wearing.
Lionel? Mike closer?
Oh,
Make bar longer.
Yeah, man.
you good?
Yeah.
Project your voice.
Yeah, bro. Use your chest.
You say with your
Stick it
chest.
out, bro.
I'll start screaming like Kratos, I'll tell you.
All right. Anyway, guys, we are going to skip announcements today because this chapter is kind of lengthy and there hasn't been any updates on it. And before we do that, I just wanted to say hi, everybody. I hope you're doing well. I am not showing my shiny bald head today. And Seb does not look like Michael B. Jordan. So
maybe he dresses like him.
I don't
He
even
does
think
dress
I
like
do.
him.
I don't know that I do, bro.
yeah, but he does. I can't
Like,
see it, bro.
Maybe because you're black.
Maybe if he worked out, he could.
I feel like I just have very different facial features from that dude. Like, I don't know.
Lionel, you watched Space Jam, the newest one. Wasn't he wearing something similar? Michael B. Jordan?
I don't think so. Y'all
Hey.
watch the new Space Jam?
Thank you, Oz. Yo, what did Oz say?
I said we back, Nakama.
Nakama for life.
Let's go.
You feel me?
Appreciate
Thank you for the $2, Oz. I appreciate you, buddy.
Hey.
Yo, who's in the chat, man? Let's say
Man,
what's up.
we got Oz, we got Smooth Llama, we got Aaron Tate, KJ, Jaheim, Saif Messiah, Shane Dadachi, Onion, Oz again, just because he donated. Jean January, Gabriel Montoya, Cuddy Flam, Leon King, Quan Webster, GG Entertainment, United States of Blurred, Ast Elm, Sniper, Itachi, so many, Corrupted Mutant, so many Rono, Chris in the chat. Love y'all, man, for real. Love y'all so much. Simi and Russell, I see y'all. And Sniper.
Yo.
I don't look like Michael B. Jordan.
Hey,
That's
Y'all keep showing me mad love. We gonna have to fight, man.
Stop it.
Yo, I just want to say thank you to everybody that's actually in the chat right now. I very much appreciate it. You have no idea how much it means to us and to me, especially. But before we get into this chapter, hey Marv, can you hit that sponsor real quick?
This episode is sponsored by BetterHelp. Have you been struggling lately? Maybe you're having trouble sleeping, difficulty with a relationship, or just struggling from low self-esteem. Listen, I've been there. We've been there. If so, then today's BetterHelp wants to help you. BetterHelp offers licensed therapists who are trained to listen and help you. Talk to your therapist in a private, online environment at your own convenience. There is a broad range of expertise in BetterHelp's 20,000 plus therapist network that gives you access to help that may not be available in your area. You just fill out a questionnaire, simple as that, to help assess your specific needs. And then you get matched with the therapist in under 48 hours. Then you schedule a secure video and phone sessions. Plus, you can exchange unlimited messages and everything you share is completely confidential. I happened to sign up at one point regarding my confidence issues. Next thing you know, my confidence issues are not issues anymore. I'm doing pretty well in that area. You can request a new therapist at no additional charge anytime. Join the 2 million plus people who have taken charge of their mental health with an experienced BetterHelp therapist. Special offer goes out to all That One Piece Talk listeners. You get 10% off your first month at betterhelp.com/TOPT. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/TOPT. Thanks again to BetterHelp for sponsoring this episode.
Kind of 18, bro.
Hey, what's up? All right.
18,
So
bro.
let's go to the One Piece chapter 1049 questions. So for the cover story, the title of this chapter is The World That Should Be. Within the cover story, we see Charlotte, Anana, Kato, and Brownie in an uproar. The Vinsmoke brothers, Niji and Yonji, have been released from Mont Dior's book. Everything's on fire. What do you think happens next? Lionel.
I'm still debating if people still think it's the Blackbeard pirates. I don't know how many people have fire abilities on the Blackbeard pirates, or if they know that fire would affect Monty's ability, or even why they would free the Vinsmokes in the first place. Like, it could have just been an accident. Honestly, it could just been spur of the moment they did this, and they just happened to get free. Like, we see that in Empo Down that happened with multiple prisoners. So I think we kind of knew they were probably gonna get free regardless. I just still think it's probably the Vinsmoke family, but probably still think it might be the world government possibly, because the foot, like you said, you mentioned before with the legs, they had that spiral thing with their suits, and at that for silhouette didn't look like it. So I'm most likely it is the Vinsmokes, but there's still possibility it could still be other people, which I'm kind of keeping in mind for, like maybe world government or something that unexpected.
Yeah. All right. What about you, Law?
So, wait, quick question, but don't they have, say like it was them, don't they have a raid suit similar to like with Sanji where they could just put it on later? Because maybe they snuck in with common clothes and then put on the raid suit like Sanji does.
Oh, that's true.
They could have did that. So going into this, what I think is going to happen next, two things I just thought of for like the Vinsmoke family. We haven't, granted, I can see why he's holding it because of how long it takes, but we haven't seen the army go to work yet, them fight, you know? Like, Vinsmoke is growing his own army.
Oh, you mean
Like the
Judge?
clones?
Judge, yeah, the clones. The only problem is I would think, because he said it takes a long time for them to reach maturity, to be used and everything, so I don't know if you would want to waste it, but is it really wasting because these are your kids? You know? Because this is a full-on battle if you use that. So I think they would probably be at the very least, because you don't want to lose your real sons, be on standby. So you have your two eldest infiltrate and try to break them free. And if they're struggling, then you send the rest of the army in to go to war with them to save your family. So I think we might see the Vinsmoke army, the one that he's been growing through his science, might at work here. Maybe, I don't know if we're going to see it through the cover channel, but we haven't seen them move yet, you know? Like even before, when they were when the whole family came, the army wasn't with them. It was just the royal family. So that's a possibility.
All right. Yo, what was the super chat?
Oh, yeah, we got a super chat from Shane Dadachi. It says, my first donation, but I hope we go crazy in this break week and redo the power scaling overalls.
Yeah. So we have Par Vision coming on next episode. I'm pretty sure that's still tucked in. I don't know if we're going to do power scaling, but we got to do that eventually. We got to finish that. But go, Seb.
As far as the cover story, you know me, I'm still, like Lionel said, I'm still on that Blackbeard pirate crew wave, because why silhouette them in that way if they're just going to be the Reiju and...
Yeah.
But I did kind of like the small callback to Whole Cake Island when Sanji used flames to free the Germa. I thought that was a nice little kind of callback there. But my thought process on who did this is Pudding, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that was just who I thought of Pudding.
Remember the eldest son, he could shoot like laser beams from his eyes.
Yeah.
So that could start, because I was trying to think who has fire. Like Sanji's the one that has fire. So I was looking at because the other sister has poison. So who would start the fire? Like how would they fire produce? But then he could shoot laser beams from his eyes. So I was thinking maybe that, you know?
Yeah.
I just thought of something.
What?
I thought of someone too.
I just thought Pedro.
Oh no!
He said Pedro.
I'm back. You know?
Diamondite.
I thought of Caesar, but like, go ahead, Larry.
I thought it was all right. I wonder what happens next.
Yeah.
I think I'm more with your idea where the clones come into effect and we see them fighting. I just want to see Katakuri. I want to be real. I just want to see what he's up to. I think it would make the cover story worth it if we just saw what he was up to.
Yeah. True.
Yeah. All right. So Next question. Chapter starts with Luffy and Kaido clashing from last chapter. Kaido then tells Luffy he won't be able to change the world. Then we finally get Kaido's flashback. We see Kaido at 10 years old, and he's already the ultimate soldier within Vodka Kingdom. We see that the king of the Vodka Kingdom decided to make his heavenly payment to the Celestials by giving Kaido to the Navy, since they can't control him. Kaido doesn't like that. We see Kaido escape many times only to be captured purposely because he's hungry. At 13 years of age, he has a bounty of 70 million belly. What's your thoughts so far up to this point within the flashback? And we'll start with Seb.
I guess we're not doing the whole flashback as a whole.
No.
I liked little baby Kaido. I did.
Yeah, he was dope.
I want more combat. I thought that was dope. I thought that was cool. I even did like Kaido trying to swallow Luffy's arm in the live. But I like the little nods we got as to like Kaido and like what he's like, and that whole like I'm giving myself up so that I can eat. Like, I just thought that was hilarious when I read it. You know what I'm saying? Like, the dude's not even like actually getting captured. It's part of his lore that he's escaped capture so many times, and it's like, yo, he was just getting captured on purpose. Like, it's just, it was badass. And I guess we'll go into it a little later, but I did like the two kind of, not so much references, but like that, how do I say this? The hypocrisy of Kaido, where like, he's like, yo, don't use me as a political pawn, but he did that to Odin. And he's like making the people of Wano starve to death, but like he knows what it's like to be starving. I did even like that, like within this flashback, that he's able to experience these things and just doesn't care, will still put it onto other people. So, and I'll let one of you guys go to continue.
Law?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, how can you not like baby Kaido, like 10 years old, just out here? Because what it says here is already this strong, the strong ultimate soldier, and the other one translates said the strongest soldier or person in this royal army, right? Or this this kingdom army, right?
Yeah.
So it's like at 10 years old, you're already the top of the line in your kingdom, right? So that means, and you're taking out fighting other kingdoms because also too, right? It says our country cannot stop going to war. So that means we don't know when Kaido first joined the army, or maybe he joined it at 10. But either way, he's nonstop fighting, and he's the one that's the powerhouse here, right? So honestly, it made me think of me and Lara were talking about it a little bit. I was like, yo, who you guys got at 10 years old, Kaido, against Luffy 17 years old? You know? Like, is Kaido shown to be that much stronger? Because from here, what I'm saying is, can Kaido at 10 years old take on a kingdom by himself? He's already the strongest in his kingdom. Can he take on a kingdom by himself at 10 years old, just doing it? You know?
Yeah, it's a theoretical.
Yeah, so it's like how strong is Kaido at this age? Because he's just the ultimate soldier.
Well, he's definitely comparable to Big Mom at the age of 9.
Yeah.
Because she took out Elbaf, basically.
So, and we also talk about that because the bounty. But it's interesting to hear, as strong as Kaido strong at 10 years old, though, his bounty, 70, is not even higher than Robin's. Robin's was 79. You know? So I was just like, I was shocked about that. I was like, and Big Mom's was higher than both of theirs.
No, Big Mom's first bounty was 50 million, right? Yeah.
Only 50? Yeah. Really? Okay.
But her second
Robin out here doing it then. All right, but yeah. So
I mean, it's not technically raw. It's just her danger level, like what she could bring.
You know?
Yeah, relax.
You never know.
Two future youngers, Robin had them beat for his bounty.
Yeah.
So did Sonya.
But yeah, it's to that point, and then also just bring up the capture thing. That's the second time we've seen this. As I'm bringing out to like Rayleaf. Like, I thought that was interesting because I'm not saying the strong do this, but this is a tactic. When you're hungry, you go to people who have food and you allow yourself to get captured, and then you easily break yourself out because you know they can't hurt you.
Yeah.
So like Rayleigh did it in his old age. He probably did it beforehand, and we see Kaido in his young age as it's clever. You know.
It's such a wild game plan.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you finished?
Yeah.
All right. Before you go, super chat.
Oh yeah, we got a $5 super chat from United States of Blurred. It says, "Do y'all think the Straw Hats would go save Bon Clay if he was being put to death?"
Yes.
Yeah.
100%.
Yes.
Yeah.
Luffy,
Sanji
yes.
might not.
Bon Clay, I mean the Straw
I'm gonna
Hats.
let that dude die.
Thank you, Simon, for becoming a member. Appreciate you.
Because
He has a super chat.
Because
Yeah.
the reason why I say the Straw Hats, well, they'll go with Luffy, but only because that time and info down, him and Luffy, like, the mother. But before, like, without that, and the only one that has that linked is Luffy, because none of the Straw Hats know. Why were they like, why were you going to save Bon Clay? You know?
They not asking a damn thing. Luffy gonna say we gonna save him. They going, all right. What's the next super chat?
It is from Simeon Russell. It's 3 months of membership, so appreciate you.
Hey.
Thank you, buddy.
It says, and you'll like this one, 10-year-old Kaido low diffs kid, right, Larry? Are we really scaling 10-year-old Kaido right now?
He's not beating kids. He's not beating Luffy.
I can't even comment.
I won already. It's Lionel's turn.
Oh, a lot of.
Yeah.
I love 10-year-old Kaido, but he's not beating Luffy or a kid. Just stop. But it was funny though. I want to comment a little bit on when the clash with Kaido and Luffy, and I realized this is actually the first time we've seen somebody's hockey in exchange through their whole fight with Luffy and fight with Kaido. That Kaido overpowered Luffy in his hockey state, in his strongest form. Because every time they clashed like, you know, like you never saw Kaido just overly beat Luffy's hockey. Like Luffy even mentioned in the previous chapter that pretty much Kaido saying that I'm gonna burn you, and Luffy's like, I'm not gonna even let you touch me because my Ryo is gonna not let you touch me because I learned it. Later on in the next chapter, we see Luffy getting burnt by Kaido. Luffy literally used the advanced King's Vision and Boshoku Haki into clash with Kaido. And now he's getting burnt. Like he lost the exchange for like a moment. Like even Luffy said that Kaido literally just overpowered Luffy in this moment. Like Luffy's still getting, like, you know, Luffy's getting hurt and affected by Kaido. And I'm thinking that's the first time we actually seen that. I didn't know if like it could happen. I don't know if Boshoku Haki could be overtaken like that. But this is a sign that it can actually by somebody who has stronger Haki.
Stronger conquerors.
Yeah.
Than another person.
Yeah. I also gonna I don't want to get into it because I know we're gonna go into other stuff. But like you guys said, flashback with kind of. I thought of a couple things. I thought of Bullet. I thought of Big Mom. I thought of a little bit of White Paper. We don't have that much, but like you know how menacing they were and how strong they were, and they couldn't handle them. But I think this kind of, I feel like right here, where Kaido says right here, why does everyone bother to obey these celestial dragons? Anyway, kind of goes in deep into a little bit, especially a little bit what Kaido's going through, like later on, why he becomes the way he is now. You know, because I mentioned a little bit something about Kaido saying something to Yamato. Like, you know, referring back to this and Kaido's history of dealing with humans in the world government, just like, and why Kaido's mindset is like the way he is now. But I'm going to touch upon that later, hopefully.
Okay. For me, I thought the clash was cool. I like the struggle that Luffy's actually showing, because he needs to struggle, obviously. And if he's not being shown struggling and he's just laughing and playing around, then that doesn't really add anything to the fight. So shout out to Oda for doing that. I do like Baby Kaido. I feel like that's cool. Gives me very Kenpachi vibes, which I really liked. I thought it was really funny that Vodka Kingdom happens to be a liquor, and he's from there and he drinks a lot. I like to see the motivation behind Kaido. I thought it was really nice to see that he doesn't mess with Celestials at all, and it's very healthy in my perspective of a mindset to be like, yo, why do we have to give them payment? Like, why do we have to follow their rules? And then the kingdom's like, well, we have no choice. If not, they would overtake us and we would lose the kingdom. So we have to stay in war in order to profit, because through war, countries always profit. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So that was interesting to see. Yeah. The fact that Kaido was, when we first saw him, it was mentioned that Kaido had been beaten, he had been captured a bunch of times and executed, and it always failed, right? The narrator said that. Now, every time we actually mentioned a narrator, is actually Oda speaking, and what he says is true, no matter what. I like the fact that Oda said, hey, yo, I know I said this, but this is actually what I mean. To see that Kaido was getting captured purposely just because he was hungry speaks miles for everything else that Oda has said, such as Whitebeard being the strongest man in the world, Kaido being the strongest beast in the world, Mihawk being the greatest swordsman in the world. Like, these are going to have other meanings. They don't mean directly what they mean, and I've been trying to say this, that Oda, he's probably saying something that he's right, but the way everybody's interpreting it might be wrong. So Mihawk might not be the strongest swordsman, or he might not be stronger than Shanks just because his title says so. Like, we know Kaido's stronger than Whitebeard.
You got too much
at
dip
that
on your
time
chip now, bro.
So what I'm saying is, like, the fact is those stats prove that they're manipulated to a degree. They are.
In this circumstance.
Well, the thing is,
Specifically.
hold on, but this is the first time of circumstance where we now have proof that what he says isn't always true. It isn't always to the T. And we have to expect now that he's done this with other narrations that he's had. So all I'm saying is you got to keep an open mind when these narrations come up.
That's fair.
Like, you can't just be like, yo, this is what it is. And then you're gun-ho about it. Like, you have to respect it now. Like, the dude was getting captured on purpose.
Yeah.
Shout out to Kaido. Dude is a beast.
You
Go
of
ahead.
all people, man.
What you mean?
Your rocks takes.
No, but hold on. There's never been anything said about Rox being the strongest individual in the world or anything like that. What I was saying was your will has to also match your ambition. And the difficulty of that ambition is going to determine your will. So if your ambition is bigger than any other ambition that we've ever seen in the show, your will has to match that. Then he had 3 conquerors under him who currently run the world now. So if I'm to expect something of Rox, I'm going to be like, bro, your ambition was crazy. Luffy right now is doing the amazing things that he's doing, but he just wants to be king of the pirates. I want to be the king of the world. I'm not worried about pirates. I'm worried about navies. I'm worried about this, and that. You're going to answer to me. That's different. That's even a different type of freedom that Luffy will never achieve. You know what I'm saying?
Failed them. I'm not doing this again.
I want to add.
You're just an idiot.
I want to add
That's
one more
it.
thing. I want to add like to what you're saying. So like, I think the way Oda was writing it, like with the Kaido thing, is kind of like what they're perceived to be, like the world's perspective. Not that Oda's
That's
writing.
true, too.
Yeah, because like there's different ways to look at it. I think Oda's writing it from like how the world sees it. Like the world saw Kaido being captured of it. So like he's the Thousand Beast Kaido, the strongest creature, but he's also been captured this many times. But like reality of it, the world knows him to be getting captured, but we just got revealed. It's not that he was getting captured; he was allowing himself to get caught so he can eat and then break himself free whenever he wanted. You know, so it's like the world's strongest man, Whitebeard. The world perceived him as the world's strongest man. So it's not like it's a fact that he's this, that there's no ifs and buts about it. It's more like what the world, Oda's writing that. So that's what I always say before, when I argue against you guys, I always say plot. And I was like, well, what the world is, you know? You got to look inside the One Piece world because the world is perceiving it this way. Not that this is a fact that it's this way or that happened, but the world is seeing it this way. This is what it's perceived as. And that's why Oda's writing it this way. So when Oda wrote it that way, it's like this is what from the eyes from the outside world. I actually want to to add to it later. We didn't recover it yet to why that and it has to do with the Rock's Pirates.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're basically saying the same thing I am.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? It's just keep an open mind to these titles that we're getting about certain characters, and then you're determining that these other characters, just because of titles, mean that they're more superior to another person.
Yeah.
And that's not what it should be. What it should be is like, let's look at their feats. Let's look at what the show really is about, and then let's make a calculated guess, because this is all theory, as to what that can mean. And this is why we have a podcast, right? This is why we talk about it, to make sure that we come to the best decision, even though we can all be wrong in our best decision. That's just what Oda does.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Oh, go through the
Yeah, we
things
got
that
2 super chats. One from Virtual Lion, a $2 super chat. It says Luffy top 3, Yonko greater than Admirals, and Blackbeard is the weakest Yonko.
I mean,
Top 3 all time?
Top 3 is wrong.
See, that's the only thing in the argument.
Yeah, the only thing that you said wrong was the top
The
3
only
part.
one?
Yonko's on over Admirals.
No, he's talking about the
Blackbeard's
Blackbeard.
weakest?
Yeah, we're not getting into this, bro, because I'm gonna start yelling and shit. Like, we're not getting into this, bro.
Yo, Blackbeard all day,
I'm
every
good,
day,
bro.
man.
Not
All right, but yeah, most of that was true. We got a $5 super chat from KJ.
KJ, thank you.
It said, "You know how I showed love. You know I had to show love. My question is, do you think Oda will give us more Kaido flashbacks since it was shorter than Big Mom's?" And I think we'll cover this a little later, but just give an answer.
Can we answer this right after KJ? Because that's going to be in the next question. Yeah. Everybody went, right?
Yeah.
I was the last person to go. Okay. We then see Kaido at the age of 15, and he gets approached by Whitebeard. Whitebeard asks Kaido if he wants to be a pirate because Rocks wants to meet him. Kaido takes the invite. Then a silhouette of someone yells at Kaido to come with them because they're going to God's Valley. Then the flashback cuts to the Rocks pirates losing to Garp, and everyone's shocked because not many of them expected them to last as long because of their chemistry. They were always fighting amongst each other. We see Big Mom, and she asks Kaido where's he going and calls him a rat. We then see Kurozumi Higurashi, I hope I said that right, giving advice to Kaido about how weapons rule the world. Kaido speaks on his ambition for the first time. He wants equality and freedom. Only war can make that happen, though. And finally, we see a conversation where Yamato has found out about Joy Boy. Kaido then says he knows who Joy Boy is, but it cuts off. What's your thoughts on all this? And we'll start with Lawrence. I know that was a lot to compact, but this is a very filled chapter, so.
Yeah, it is. Facts. So I just want to cut one who I think, so I'll just say, so Whitebeard met Kaido first before Big Mom, from what it looks here, right? From what we saw in the chapter, it's like, oh, you're new to the crew, right? Don't trust Rocks because he's a scoundrel, right?
Yeah, that was brought up before.
Yeah.
By Big Mom, yeah.
Yeah, but that was him already joining. So I think like Whitebeard saw that Kaido first is what I'm gathering, right? Mm-hmm. And I think that, at first I was like, is that Rocks? I think that's Big Mom.
Oh yeah. I'm 100% agree with you.
Yeah.
That's Big Mom.
Yeah, that's Big Mom, like, come here. So
because
Kaido.
the relationship that they have together is like the best relationship that ship has.
Yes.
Basically, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I could expect that from Big Mom.
Yeah. So pretty much, we already know Kaido was strong at 15, like beating out like probably by himself. Mm-hmm. So this is interesting to me, right here about like why did Big Mom call him a rat? Like, because it could be that Big Mom just be calling people names, like that's very much like her, but it could be more to it.
Is it? I don't remember her calling people names like that. Have you guys?
She's very disrespectful in her talk.
Oh, okay.
When she speaks to people.
She be calling people this, that, and the third. That's what I remember. So it could be that. But this is what I was talking about before about the whole just to tag on it with the Rocks Pirates, is they said they couldn't believe that they lost, right? And it was like some believed that it was Garp. It was like, nah, it was more like due to infighting. Mm-hmm. But the truth of the matter is it was Garp with someone else. Actually, the future Pirate King, you know? So it's like, that's what going by what perceived wise. Because most people don't even know that Road Roger was there. It's like Garp, the hero. Mm-hmm. But it also could have been a combination of all things. The infighting, Garp also with Roger, all that led to their downfall. Yeah. But the world doesn't really know that. But they just believe, right, mostly is just that either one or the other. Garp did it or that. So it's like what is perceived. So going by that, and then why I just want to cover, so I don't want to take too much long because there's a lot here, is that I just want to add to, I find it interesting, Kaido's speech right here, and going to what Lionel was saying, all right, about saying how he wanted to take the Celestial, those nobles who never knew war, right? Those nobles who, like, so it goes into this one, right? And this is what I believe Kaido was saying, where I'm the only one, where he spoke to King, I'm the only one that can change the world. Because from what I got here, Kaido's goal is actually to take down all the Celestial Dragons. Mm-hmm. So now, pretty much, he wants to rule it by strength. The top dog is the one that runs the world, not these people who don't know war and like these we have to answer to. Kaido wants to like, no, through war you prove that you have the right to decide what's what, you know. So that's what Kaido's trying to break down. Was like, so in a way, it's like in your own freedom, you have your own chance. If you're strong enough, you have a chance to speak up. If you're strong enough, you have a chance to set things straight. If you're strong enough, you have the chance to set the tone. So that's what Kaido wants. A world where like, your strength actually matters. Where you can be strong as all you want, but you're like he was given away as a pawn, you know, through politicalness. So you try to bring down political, and have absolute strength rule. So,
yeah, that's how his crew is built too.
Exactly.
Lionel.
Lawrence touched a little bit on it, and actually it's going by what Lawrence saying that to me, I brought up with Sebastian. It's like foreshadowed the way Kaido was foreshadowed with Doflamingo's speech at the Mean for War when he said, "People who only lived war and only people who lived peace." Like, living war was Kaido's whole life. Like all he knew was battle and fighting, and that's why Kaido felt some type of way when he says, why do we listen to world nobles who never fight? Yet they're dictating our lives, who've been in war, who are ruling with strength. Yet these weak people are telling us what to do.
That's an excellent point.
Like Kaido was he couldn't fathom how that made sense to him. So it goes into and again, that's why I go to what Kaido says right here. A little bit. We're going take the equality and freedom. And I bung out that in a way Kaido. It's weird. Like Kaido's mixing with a fishman. Like his whole life been treated with the world government and treated by humans. That's what he viewed with this when he said to Yamato that we are not human. We're not friends with humans. Because how he saw how humans treated him. We're not friends. Even though I was a comrade to war with them, they treated me as a pawn. Even though I showed so much strength, they keep on trying to capture me and whatever. But even though we saw what happened, but Kaido saw this world needs to change. But I was thinking of Dragon and him have similar goals, but Dragon seems like he's trying to do it for peace. To my knowledge, I don't know. But Kaido's like, nah, I'm calling a war where only the strong live.
It's kind of like the opposite of the coin.
Yeah.
Like Dragon's on one end, Kaido's on the other. But they kind of want to do the same thing.
Yeah. So I find a little bit going by a little bit Kaido's flashback, how his life was kind of showed his anger, his frustration, how this world is, and how much he wants to change it. And that's what I kind of got a little bit from this flashback.
Okay. What about you, Sub?
They touched on a lot of the points I want to touch on, so I won't drag this out too long. But I did want to point out that Kaido is always and always will be this contradictory figure, because on one end he's like, "Yo, I want this war-torn world where you can prove your strength through how strong you are," but at the same time he'll team up with Orochi to do some grimy stuff. You know what I mean? At the same time, he doesn't look at people as equals just for the strength. It's like, no, I'm an Oni. You're my daughter. You're an Oni. You're supposed to stand above others. So it's like he be contradicting himself. He be contradicting himself.
No, even with King.
King too.
Well,
So
hold on. It's
like
maybe we have to think about his definition of equality and freedom, because in his eyes, everyone's equal to each other. So fight amongst each other, and whoever wins, you're superior. And then that is sort of a freedom.
I mean, yeah, on some level. But to answer KJ's question, because it was about the flashback, I just think we need more.
We do.
Of this flashback.
Yes.
For me to get a full encompassing view on Kaido and his motivations.
Yeah.
Even why he's in Wano. I know Higurashi was there, the Kurozumi girl, but we didn't get a deep dive. We just got a vague kind of yo, let's do this. Yeah. Versus he's been talking about I'm here because it's Wano. Yeah. What we've gotten so far does not speak to that.
At first I was disappointed. At first but then I had to dissect it to get to try to get a little from it. But
because Kaido does mention Wano is special. Those words out of his mouth. So
I just feel like we need more. I 100% feel like we need more.
I agree.
And to Katie's point about it being shorter than Big Mom's, I think if we have more, it won't be.
Yeah.
I think we will get more. That'll make it longer than Big Mom's, because Big Mom's was 3 chapters, 4 chapters.
I think Big Mom's was in depth though, kind of, except for the teenage.
But yeah,
this was skimmed through.
For me, I thought it was cool to see him, because I was wondering when he was 15 in that one panel, are they doing Davy back fights or not? I'm not too sure. But then seeing Whitebeard, I've always said, when Whitebeard or Roger is on page, the anime, One Piece just shoots up immediately. So it was nice to see him. The boat that Blackbeard is on, shout out to Hidden Island, he pointed this out on Twitter. The boat that Rocks has is the actual real life Blackbeard, the pirate boat.
The boat that Rocks has?
Yeah, so in real life, Blackbeard had a boat that had 3 lanterns on the back.
Really?
So that's very interesting.
Masts, right?
Yeah, so it's interesting to see that happened. When Whitebeard says that Rocks wants to meet Kaido, I think that Kaido kind of took some inspiration of his ideals also from Rocks, because he basically wanted to do the exact same thing, but he probably has his own definition of what equality and freedom is.
Right.
So it was nice to see. The fact that everybody's so shocked at the way the Rocks Pirates lost, Oda's just teasing that carrot in front of our face, man, because I think this happens to be one of the most interesting things. This is the strongest pirate crew we've ever seen in the entirety of the show. We look at Big Mom and we look at Kaido. One's 9, one's 10 years old, one takes over Elbaf, one is just a complete monster. These are figures that Luffy couldn't compare to at that age because they're just born monsters. They were just born this way to be this strong, where Luffy had to necessarily try to catch up to them at a very late age. He's like, for example, I saw somebody write this on Twitter. They said Kaido's crew lacks because they let like 19 people pull up on Kaido and just fight him, where they should have intersected everybody. And they were like, yo, could you have imagined Katakuri letting Big Mom just get jumped by 19 people? And it was like, no, right? Katakuri wouldn't have allowed it.
Yeah.
And the thing is, we have to, this is where I start to think to myself, we're dealing with monsters. Like, these two people are monsters from birth. So we're never going to get that treatment that Luffy would get. You know what I'm saying? They're going to be allowed to take on everything because they can.
Yeah.
And it makes them scarier. But my point is, to go back into it, Rox was in control of these guys. Like, Rox was in control of Whitebeard. Like, even though there was infighting, how much did that cause an effect on that fight with Roger and Garp? Like, if Big Mom is calling Kaido a rat, is it to be disrespectful, or is it because he ratted them out some way, somehow, and we all thought it was Whitebeard that did it, right? We all thought that Whitebeard turned on Rox.
Yeah.
But if it was Kaido, this adds not only needed depth to Kaido, but now it makes him interesting. Because he wasn't always as interesting as I think that one line makes him now, in my opinion. So that was nice. To see the Kurazumi girl come in out of nowhere, it felt rushed, but I liked the fact that we got Kaido's ambition out the way. Like, now we know why he's doing what he's doing to a degree, why he wants to have the greatest battle. I think that's the disconnect too, because now we see two ambitions. We see his need for equality and freedom, but we also see the need to have the greatest battle and to die just like Whitebeard did. And it's like, okay, so what connects that? What's the two reasons that these two are so different? Like, why did his ambition change? And I think they're not the same, in my opinion. I think they're very different. But then to go to the whole Joy Boy thing, and he's like, you know, whoever beats me is going to be Joy Boy. It adds a little bit more to it, because Rox had to know about Joy Boy at some point, or it's just like King told him about it, so now he's just reflecting on the Joy Boy because King is there again. I don't know. But yeah.
It actually made me think what you were saying, because you said how they intertwine, and I was thinking of, like, for instance, we just saw, like, Kaido wants the biggest war. And, like, for instance, Kaido wants the biggest war, so all the strongest could be there, and whoever remains are the strongest. But at the same time, he thinks Joy Boy's going to show up and beat him, so Joy Boy's among the strongest. But I'm thinking, but how does that fully make sense with your purpose about equality and, like, taking down the Sons of Dragons? Like, because it's still there. Like, some of the stuff, like, it's like, you said, it's there, but it's like, some of them are not connecting. So, like, what's disconnecting to this one, connecting to this one? Because, like, it seems like you have multiple ambitions and you're trying to reach them all, but, like, how they...
It's
like,
weird, too, because it sounds like he's trying to have a Royal Rumble.
Yeah.
But at the end of the Royal Rumble, he wants to be defeated. Like, he wants to die. And I'm just like, yo, how does that... Like, what's your goal? Like, it's a kind of a contradiction in a way, but to me, it's kind of not a contradiction. It's just, he has, like, this weird mindset that just changed from one period to the next. Because I'm pretty sure at the end of the Royal Rumble, he wanted to be king. But now he just wants to die in the Royal Rumble. So I'm like, yo, what changed?
So I have an answer to this, but we just don't have enough time for me to break it down.
Yeah.
So, like...
Yeah, we got two more
I'll have to bring it up
questions.
in the Discord or something.
All right, so let's move on. But that was interesting. I actually had fun during that conversation. The CP0 agent just left Onigashima.
Yo, he was out, bro.
He said, hey, yo, wait up.
he looks worried.
It
You
was
see the hand on hat, bro?
it was funny, and we see the rest of Onigashima getting rinsed by Raizo and Jinbei's bathwater from Zunisha. Then we see Orochi is still headless, and Hiyori is being embraced by Denjiro. How did you feel about these moments, guys? It was.
I'll keep it quick.
Yeah, it is
Pack
quick.
watch on Orochi, man. Rest in peace, bro.
I'm so glad Danjo came back and made some type of significance out of this whole chapter that he was gone. But I did enjoy that. I did enjoy it.
He was gone for like 30 plus chapters.
Chilling, bro. They was fighting together.
Same. Like finally, that whole situation comes to an end, and because I think we all needed to see Orochi die, and not only we get to see him die, we get to see him die like what? 8 times maybe plus, each head burnt, then head chopped off. So it was like,
I think it was like,
you deserve every bit of that, you know.
I was gonna say just a shout out to Odin, burned and got hit in the head, just like Odin, he was burned and got shot.
Yeah,
that's pretty.
I think he getting back up. I don't see why he wouldn't. I don't get why he wouldn't grow more heads.
I think
because he's a bum.
I think he's a limit. I think he's a limit.
Like, why would you just be like, all right, you chopped off 8 heads, 7 heads, I'll never get those 7 heads back? Like,
but I think that's like a mythical serpent that has certain heads. I think
it's a Hydra. You cut one off, 2 more grow.
Yeah.
From was it Hercules thing? Yeah. That one? I don't know. Go ahead.
Yeah. All right. So we reached the climax of the chapter. Momonosuke still hasn't made any flame clouds. Kaido asks Luffy, what kind of world can you create? Before Luffy could answer, we see Momonosuke suddenly, for the first time, create flame clouds. Then Luffy responds, a world where my friends can eat as much food as they want. Luffy then wins the clash, breaks Kaido's left horn, and blasts him into the ground outside of the flower capital. Mid-fall, Kaido remembers telling King that Joy Boy will be the person who defeats him. Also, Onigashima is on the ground, safely because of Momo. Both Luffy and Momonosuke are spent. Tell me what your thoughts are, and then we'll go with Seb.
Oh, it's on me?
Yeah.
I did really like Luffy's dramatic speech about his friends. And I like the mini callback between when Ace punched the Kaido statue and created that dent, and Luffy doing that here. I'll be honest, I did not like the Momo piece of it, of him creating the flame clouds in that moment like that. And I know he's been struggling with it. I would have preferred a more extensive struggle as far as in this chapter of him getting it done. I thought they kind of went from, he's struggling with it, flashback, that's not his, and then, you know what I mean? And I know he had a flashback previously, but just in general, I didn't care for how the Momo part of it went down, personally. You know me, I wanted him holding the Onigashima. Maybe that's just me leaning too heavily in my expectations for that headcanon. But Luffy cracked Kaido, bro. He got rocked. I ain't even gonna lie to you. He got rocked. And I love him having that swirl in the ground, he's falling that hard and that fast. And a little flashback with King. I did like the Kaido, right-hand man with King kind of things that was going on. I thought that was cool. Didn't care for the Flower Capital landing without the people seeing it. So, personally, I don't know about y'all. I still think Kaido could get up. And maybe I'm crazy. Maybe I'm crazy. I still think Kaido could get up. Need that awakening. Need that awakening. But whoever's next.
Lionel.
I kind of share similar feelings with Sebastian, honestly. I always thought with even the punch with Luffy landed with Kaido, I was thinking it was I'm trying to think it was satisfying enough. It was climactic, but also anticlimactic at the same time because it was I won't say I can't think of a word either. Honestly, I have mixed feelings on how it ended.
Bro, Parvision said he got rocks.
Wow.
Par, go home.
It's bad but funny. Nah, good. But no, I really don't have anything honestly. I'm kind of I'm still struggling with my feelings towards this chapter. So the ending part. The other parts were okay, but the ending part, I'm not sure.
Yeah, Law.
So yeah, I don't think I'm not disappointed, but we didn't get the whole Sebastian said. Momo holding it up, so the whole Odin holding up Onigashima, and the whole what we kept rooting for, the things coming up, them seeing it, that fueling him.
The flame clouds.
Yeah, the flame clouds. No, I'm talking about the lanterns. The lanterns. Yeah. So we didn't get that either, and then also so I said, they didn't really see Kaido. They're pretty much what they're writing. They didn't see that come true in a way. Not even Orochi did. They saw none of it. So it's just okay, but it's whatever with that. So going to so now going back to the punch, right? And in my head I was So remember I kept saying the Gatling earlier that he needs to finish Kaido with the Gatling. So I don't know if. So I had to break it down to fully accept it, and I had to. So me and Lionel even breaking it down like also how much stronger though too that Luffy is in this form, right? They said it enhances his physical, like greatly, enhances his physical ability, right? And then also is the biggest gear fist. He went giant fist, right? Hockey harding, and then also look like he may have added more because he's struggling with more conquerors and more of his hockey.
Well, he uses Rio in it.
Yeah, exactly. So I think he added
It's like
more.
Conquerors and Rio.
But also too, I also wanted to add is because I had to measure it up with, for example, because it doesn't necessarily mean he knocked Kaido out, but he also added the umph of Gear 4. Because remember how Gear 4 was sending, when he first started using, was sending Doflamingo flying, right? Yeah. We saw it like getting sucked in. Because I did notice when they collided, the whole time they collided, Luffy didn't, shoot it out yet. When he collided with Kaido, his fist is still kind of sucked into his forearm. So then when he struggled in the last umph is when he finally pushed through like his Gear 4 punch would be. But honestly, on this Gear 5th magnitude, that extra force is what sent Kaido flying with the great strength of Gear 5th and all the Conquerors. So I had to accept it, like, all right, but it doesn't mean I would accept fully that Kaido got knocked out, but I have to go to the great strength and the power behind it all. And the last thing before I give it to you, Larry, I think what Luffy just mentioned is what he whispered.
Yeah.
I think what whispered to
I was gonna bring that up
to with the whole thing that he shared with Rocks.
Second dream.
Yeah, exactly. That he shared with I said Rocks. Shared with that him and Gold Roger had in common. That Ace knew and that Oda was hiding this entire time. I believe that's what Luffy said here. But
yeah, I was actually gonna bring that up. That might be the dream that has always been hinted at. That's just never been said through all these chapters. It was interesting for me. I was talking to Sebastian about it in the car. And I was telling him, like, yo, I'm kind of disappointed because I understand the fight with Kaido is this long, but it's also structured in a way to compensate for Luffy's inability to match his strength. So we had to see Luffy go through all these struggles within the arc in order to get to this point. Mm-hmm. And obviously, fight fatigue is playing a factor.
Yeah.
But I'm like, this is the reason why Wano has suffered. I've said it from the beginning when we first started the show, that Wano isn't necessarily a good arc. Wano is just nice because it's giving us everything that has been mysterious about the show, and it's giving us the Yonkos and what they're able to do. So we eat it up like crazy because this is what we've always wanted. Mm-hmm. But I think the way we're getting it isn't the best way for the story, which is what I've always tried to explain to everybody, meaning power scaling is through the roof for this. And there's other instances of like inconsistency with characters now because, like, for instance, right? We had to dissect what Big Mom was doing in her fight, right? We didn't know if she was using Conqueror's Haki or not. We just have to assume that she was, right? Mm-hmm. But now we're seeing that the main antagonist of this arc, Kaido, we don't know if he went Awakening.
Right.
But this is on the assumption that he's taken out this chapter.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, if he is taken out this chapter and he hasn't awakened, this is, again, something that we have to now dissect from Oda for ourselves. Mm-hmm. This is what I'm talking about, is that we're getting stepping stone Yonkos. We're not actually getting Yonkos. We're just getting them stepping stones. Like, this is to propel Luffy to the next stage. And I think it's kind of unfair for us and our digestion of entertainment, because at the end of the day, man, like, this is greatness that we're viewing and taking in. But at the same time, we can also call sometimes, you're doing a subpar job, bro. Mm-hmm. Like, this is not, we expect more from you because you set those expectations yourself. Mm-hmm. Like, for instance, Kaido's flashback. How long did we ask for that? Long time. It was needed, right? Yeah. But when did we get it?
For it?
We got it right now, right before he gets defeated. And what happens? It's only 3 pages long.
Yeah.
So if I'm to accept that Kaido, who I needed this from forever, was delayed, my expectation shouldn't be my fault. I just had Doflamingo. I just had Katakuri. I had Big Mom, and they all had great flashbacks. It made me like their characters more, but since Kaido gets a mini one, and I'm just supposed to accept it because we've been with Kaido all this time, that's unfair to me.
Also,
Like you can't tell me I'm wrong for digesting something and not liking it. Like that's unfair.
Yeah.
So.
And actually, you said the point. Like we got more of a flashback and detailed of a side character of Senior Pink, and it was a great flashback. Yeah, we're getting this from Kaido.
Exactly. Senior Pink.
Yeah.
We got to get to calls.
We do.
But if this is the flashback and it's over, this is the worst flashback in One Piece.
Dressrosa, we got Laws,
It's the worst. And they were all better.
Doflamingos,
they
Senior
were all
Pinks.
better.
Like we got so many, and then
They were all better.
And this is what I'll say beforehand. I just want to say this. I don't think Kaido's defeated, and I hope he's not defeated. As much as I don't want the fight to keep continuing, it's just I really want people to look back on Wano and really ask themselves, is this exactly how things were supposed to play out? Because it's been said that Oda didn't know how he wanted to end this fight. Also, he extended Wano because he was just enjoying the art. So he might have had the goal of what was supposed to happen, but he didn't know how to get there like he's known every other arc. Even though he's probably put the most work in this arc, it just says, like, if you don't know how to end something, you're going to get Bleach vibes. You're going to get the end of Naruto vibes.
Yeah.
Greatness, but it's not executed well.
Yeah.
So, all right, Marv, calls. Sorry, people.
No, that was excellently put, honestly.
Yeah, it's just, you know, we enjoy One Piece, man, and Oda's just gave us that extra. You love this.
Call in, y'all. SGG said that Shushu's backstory from Orangetown was better than Kaido. We got a call?
What's going on? This is Larry from that One Piece Talk. Who are you and how are you?
Yo, it's our
Par!
Hey! Got in!
What up, man?
I finally got on the call.
Yeah, I'm glad to see people were trying to keep you out.
Trick was in the chat. He said he's not gonna call in today.
What's up, Par?
This time I called before you guys posted in the chat, so then no one was gonna get it.
That's cheating, Par.
What's up, Par? Hit me.
So I mean, it feels like we're gonna get Kaido back up, right? You guys agree with that?
Yes. I hope we do.
Yeah.
And so I feel like in the other part of it, right, is like if this is the end for Kaido, right? I mean, like people are satisfied with that, and I'm just like, doesn't that mean Kaido has a glass jaw? Like he's got one. Like people are happy with that, right? That's kind of weird, right?
You can't call it a glass jaw. He took mad damage, but I feel you though. I feel you 100%.
Nah.
All right, and then so my question is, right? Kaido gets up, right? Was the other fights like so you know how we got the title card like that said Luffy lost, like Kaido won, right?
Yeah.
If that card is wrong because it, you know, like the fight continued to play out, doesn't that mean all the other cards should be questioned? And do you think that all the other fights are gonna be revived, like all of them? I asked Morge a question, and he said that there's gonna be a mass awakening, and I was just like, I don't know about that, but like I think the title card fights might be like reversed, considering everybody we saw like got knocked off the island. We didn't see King's body, we didn't see Queen's body, we didn't see Big Mom's body. Where did they go? They're on the land, they're on the ground, right? So do you guys think that that's what's gonna happen?
So Sebastian had a dope idea that we haven't heard Kaido's cry, like war cry. So Sebastian was like, if he gets up and he does the war cry and then all of the Zoans just get back up, how dope that would be.
That would be.
And they all go like animalistic in a way where they like lose their minds. So he kind of like, for example, Attack on Titan. I know you guys don't watch it, but there's a Beast Titan that roars and then all the
rumbling
Titans come alive. And they just go crazy. And then if Kaido were to do that, oh man, I'm getting hyped thinking about it.
That would be the kind of stuff that I would be looking for. You're saying just specifically basically the senior leadership of the Beast Pirates, so
Yeah,
just
I mean,
like
the
King and
awakening
Queen.
thing would be dope. But like, I'm also thinking that we're definitely gonna get the slack if that happens. Everyone's gonna be like, "Oh my God, One Piece is copying Attack on Titans." I'm like, this is probably in the cards way before Attack on Titans was even like made. Like, I don't even understand. But
And Larry, you credited me with that. That was a Morge.
Oh, it was?
Yeah, that was a Morge thing.
Yeah. That was so crazy though. That would be so dope.
You know me, I would definitely want that to happen. It'll be awesome if he wrote that in. The only thing is, I'm just thinking, for example, just because we said especially the top three, the only one that looks like he's still able to fight right now is Sanji. Luffy and Zoro look down for the count, you know? Like, we're going to get that Luffy against Zakata Carrier. He's just like, I can do this all day, but you can't.
The best parts of One Piece is when, like, Oda wrote himself into a corner where we were like, yo, how did they get out of this? You know what I'm saying? And it's lobby. How are they getting out of this?
Yeah.
That's what I loved One Piece.
That is true. That makes you go, I have no possible idea of what can happen right now.
Now you made me think of like the same thing Zunisha's here, and they're gonna jump on Zunisha. How they jumped on the Gory Berry.
Or if they get back up, Blackbeard Pirates show up.
But that's not helping them. That's not gonna help.
No, hold on. It would cause a distraction, right? It would cause a distraction. And they'd be able to escape, or whatever they need to do, and Blackbeard takes Marco's fruit.
Did y'all hear the Zunisha eats Kaido theory?
What? But the thing is,
an elephant dragon.
So are they gonna regroup and fight again? Because then you're just leaving Wano, like where you just left it. Because you didn't liberate Wano.
If this follows, hold on. If it follows Thriller Bark, the Zoans would come back sort of like zombies. You know what I'm saying?
Man, and then we could get Straw Hats versus Kaido.
Yeah, it'd be
just a Straw Hats versus Kaido.
Yeah, man. Maybe more than that. They need more than that.
Yeah, that would be so crazy.
But the question is, Kaido does awakening or no?
They all awaken.
He has to awaken.
He has to awaken.
Because how they gonna survive that, bro?
He's already spoken about awakening and then didn't do it.
Yeah, I know.
Like, come on, bro. He has to get up.
Then he went to some weird fire mode, and we don't even know when you could do that or why you do that. Is that part of your awakening? You had another transformation, like as dope as it was. Where's your awakening though? Like you did that, but you didn't do your awakening. You know. The only thing is like, 'cause he probably didn't think he was gonna get cracked like that by Luffy. You know.
Oh, he knew he was gonna get cracked,
bro.
No, he's gonna take it, but he didn't think he was gonna send him flying like that.
Yeah.
If Kaido had awakening in the tuck and they got caught lacking. They got put before he could use it. Larry was right the whole time. He's the worst top 10.
What's that? What Queen said? Caught you napping. Caught you napping.
Come on, bro.
What were you gonna say, Par?
All I know is that we're gonna get the real Kaido flashback. Once we get that, that's when we know. Right after that, that's when it's closing out, and we're probably gonna see like the sun. Like once we see those two things, that's when the fight starts ending. I don't think this is the end for sure.
Wait, Par brings up an interesting question because in Thriller Bark, the sun was coming up and they had to like hurry up with the fight. So if they do that here, that would be a great callback too.
Wait, for who's flashback? Sun God Nika, bro.
For who's flashback, Par?
Kaido's saying.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hey.
Yeah, because
You go, Par.
You go ahead, Par.
Oh, I was just saying that, like, I think with every villain, it's like, not every villain, but like most antagonists, right before the last bit, we get like a full flashback, like, and then they pull out the last thing, right? And this one kind of, the way I was seeing this flashback was more like Kaido was about to get hit and he kind of saw his life flash before his eyes. That's kind of how I saw it. And it's like, so we didn't get the details. So now he's like groggy, he's on the ground, he's going to have that full flashback. It's like Big Mom had 2 to 3 chapters. There's no way Oda doesn't give Kaido at least that.
Yo, so if he gives Kaido just that, what's up? You accepting it?
Well, you have to accept it, bro.
Nah, you ain't gotta accept nothing, bro.
What do you mean? How you not
drop? I mean, I guess he could drop the series.
You accepting it?
What I will say, I think that if it ends here, it makes closing out way harder, and that's like something that like take a long time to explain, but it makes it a lot harder for Oda to close out this way. I think if it ends with 1049 with this fight,
it's like
if this is the end,
OD exposition would have to be.
Listen, I've said it before, man. There's a lot of things that Oda has to land because he set them up for so long. And if you miss on any of them, the show will still be great, but it will be a huge knock on the series if it doesn't land. Those couple things are like
100%.
those couple things are the Yonkos, Shanks,
Wow.
Blackbeard. Yo, it could easily go south, bro.
Yo, we did get another super chat real quick.
Oda had the whole community going, "Yo, we're waiting for you in Wano. He can't flop on Wano."
Yeah, so it's but Par, man, thank you so much, man. We're about to end the show.
Yeah, no worries. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, I had to give you the full 10 minutes just because they were keeping you out before.
Don't worry, we got the surprise next week, right?
Yeah, we're on for next week.
Yes.
Yep. See you there.
All right, Par, have a good night,
All right.
bro.
See you, Barf.
Yeah, you too.
All right,
Later, guys.
Later.
All right, before we end the show, we did get one more super chat from Ozzy Phenom, $5. It says, "My boys, I gotta head out early. My girl on episode 7 of One Piece, and we continue right now. Later, Nakama." Hey.
Thank you so much, Oz, for becoming a member for 2 months straight and the $5. And I hope your girl enjoys One Piece, man.
We also kept getting Nakama joining.
Yeah, we got.
Oh, that was the members.
Okay.
Yeah, we shouted them out. All right. Anyway, guys, I just want to say thank you for joining us on episode 48. It's our pleasure to be able to discuss this chapter overall because it was pretty great, and I hope you enjoyed us talking about it. But if not, we hope to see you later. My name is Larry,
Lawrence.
Lionel.
Seb.
and this is that One Piece talk. Enjoy the rest of your night.
Jada!
Jana!